Can I tell you something that I used to do to myself that used to drive me nuts? I'd sit down to write a family story, and 30 seconds in, I'd find myself back into research again. Or I'd write a sentence and then back up and rewrite the same sentence, or back up and rewrite the same sentence over and over again. So finishing a story, absolutely forget it. It was kind of like trying to crochet and have a toddler and push a grocery cart through the store all at the same time. It's possible, but not very productive. So one day, while working with AI, I decided to really get down what was going on for me with this process. Why was I doing these things? Why was I stalling? What was happening? And that's when I came up with this framework, which gives me both a path forward to get my stories finished, but also the space to create within the story making process. So I'm going to share it with you. I call it STORI. I know, not very original, but I did give it an I. I stole the I from my name, Denise, and swapped and put the Y in my name and the I here. That's a little joke for all of you following along at home. The STORI framework is what I'm going to share with you today, and is how I take my research and turn it into actual stories that are interesting and fun for my family to read. Let me walk you through this so it can help you in your family history writing. So for S, it's all about setting the scope. I start with one ancestor, one story, one goal, one generation. This is the step where I stop myself from trying to get overwhelmed by writing the epic family history of 8 generations all in one weekend. That amount of overwhelm freezes me every time. T, thread the timeline. Thread the timeline is where I take all my notes, the records, the facts, and the historical context and weave them together into one epic outline. I don't stop to do more research. I don't go down any rabbit holes. I just work on the thread part of tying everything together that I already have. O is originate the story. This is where I start drafting. I bring in templates, I bring in transcripts, I bring in, yes, even artificial intelligence as my writing buddy. Not to write for me, but to assist me in getting the story out of the facts that I have from the threads that I pulled together. I make a nice cup of coffee or tea and just get cozy with this part of the process. Next is reflect and refine. This used to be the part that I hardly ever got to because I was so busy editing as I went, I never got to the part where I could edit the piece as a whole. So in my story phase, I make sure that I have a complete story. Even if I don't like the whole thing, I make myself write an entire story from beginning to end, and I do it quickly. The draft isn't always pretty, but I save the refining and the editing to a distinct step. There's often days in between these two phases. And the last part is all about inspiring. I want to inspire the next story, the next generation, the next ancestor on my list. I want to inspire all those things and keep going with my story writing. And inspire my family to tell their stories about their ancestors, and different stories about the ancestors that we share in common. So that is my little framework, which has made all the difference for me. And if you're someone who would like to walk through this framework with me and get all my AI prompts, my templates, my frameworks, everything, I am launching a tiny, small course for people like you who want to write their family history and need a process to work through it. With that, you'll get to work with other humans, not just artificial intelligence, in writing your stories. And we're going to have a lot of fun because family history writing is enjoyable if you use the STORI framework. And I hope to see you in my course, and if not, on the Chronicle Makers newsletter. And happy writing. Maybe I should have made this last letter another E for edit endlessly. Is there anyone out there that does that?